Well, hi there, everybody. Welcome back to Wyther Farms, and it's just coming past 9 o'clock in the morning. Stayed in this bed and breakfast last night, just up from the main shop there. So we haven't got our container, our new container home yet, but hopefully that'll be delivered this afternoon. Now, we had a pretty good day yesterday. We purchased that piece of land, obviously, and we bought some equipment, mainly the international tractor here and the Marston trailer and our chainsaw, and we set about cutting all those trees down, and I was pretty pleased because we managed to clear them all, and we got some good money in for all of the wood chips down at the biomass plant, so that was pretty good. Now our next task really today is going to try and get our field kind of marked out in that new piece of land that we've got. So I'm heading up to the shop now. I need to go and buy a plough, and I also want to get a cultivator as well, or a set of disc harrows. So we're going to go and have a look and see what's available in the shop. Now, there will be some other things that we've got to purchase as well. Mainly, I need to get a weeder at some point. Obviously, we need to get a seeder as well if we need to plant a crop today. And a few other things that we'll get as and when our kind of money will permit. So we're going to have quite another busy day today, but hopefully everything will go okay. Now, a couple of things that I have sort of promised myself setting up this new business, having had to kind of close the other business down, there's one thing that I'm certainly not going to do, and that's borrow any more money from the bank. I've had enough of paying off debts and things like that, so I'm going to kind of make my own way and go from there. Now, if I can't afford to buy any equipment, then I will lease some equipment from the shop if I need to, and of course I'm going to probably have to take on contracts and everything else that, but I'm only going to use my own equipment, so I don't want to be borrowing things from anybody else. And I also want to kind of farm as naturally as I can, so using natural fertilizers and weeders and things like that, certainly on my own land, so where possible I want to kind of do things organically, as organically as I can. Now, I'm up at the main shop. Now, we are going to have quite a few bits of equipment that we need to buy, and with only putting our kind of first crop in, hopefully today, it's obviously going to take us a bit of time before we can kind of earn any of our own money. So in order to support the costs of what I need to purchase over the next day or two, I'm going to probably have to look at taking on a few contracts. Now, there's Field 32 needs ploughing. Now, that's right next door to the piece of land that we purchased, as is Field 33 for cultivation as well. So I'm going to take both of those contracts on. I need to buy a plough today, and we'll also get a cultivator as well, so that'll help us do those two contracts, and hopefully that will also give us enough money to buy or cover the cost of those two pieces of equipment and give us about £4,000 to £5,000 left over. That's the plan, and then we'll also have a look and see if there's anything else that we might be able to take on as well. I'm just going to nip in this shop, but I did have a look online the other day to see what they might have, and I found this John Deere chisel plough that's 3.7 metres width, and the second-hand version's only £2,000, so I thought that was kind of pretty good. So I'm going to buy this, and then I also found a set of disc harrows as well. Now, these are second-hand as well. They're an AGD 4.5 metre set of harrows. So there's two rows of serrated or scalloped discs, and they've got also a kind of a ring roller on the back as well, sort of as a rear press. So they look pretty good. Now, both the chisel plough and the disc harrows need 130 horsepower to pull them. The international tractor that we've got is 125, but I think that'll be absolutely fine. So I've agreed that I'm going to purchase both of these items. Now, they will need a bit of repair, so the first thing I'm going to do is pop them into the workshop, just get them repaired and get them into order, and then hopefully I'll be able to take the disc harrows and put those on the front, on the front 3-point hitch, and then put the chisel plough on the back and take them both down the road at the same time. So if you bear with me, I'm just going to go and do that. Okay, so I've done the disc harrows already, and that's just the John Deere chisel plough. That's all been repaired and everything, so that's absolutely fine. So I'm just going to put this back onto the tractor, and then hopefully I'll be able to take both of these down the road in one go. A set of disc harrows look quite big on the front there, actually, slightly wider than I thought they might, but I'm sure we'll be okay. This stretch of road here is not that busy, doesn't get a huge amount of traffic on it, so hopefully we will be fine. And the grass verge on the side is sort of fairly big, apart from the lampposts that stick out a little bit, so we should be okay. Yeah, so the plan is that we will get our field marked out. I'm going to get that ploughed first, and then I'm going to go back over it with the disc harrows. So we've got a decent cultivated seed bed ready for sowing. And then you can see field 33 here just off on the side. That's got a cover crop in it of oilseed radish, so I will probably do that with the cultivator afterwards whilst I've still got that on. And then I think I might then look at getting a sower or a seeder of some description so I can get our field planted. And then I'll have to look at other equipment kind of after that. So there'll still be a few things that I'll need to buy, and certainly a small seeder of some description that we can kind of get on with that. So I'm just going to put the set of disc harrows just over on the side here on the top kind of hedge line on the grass verge here, and then I'll start marking the field out with the chisel plough. So I'm going to start just where the track comes in. I'll need to leave a little bit of a kind of a drive-through gap here where the track is, and then over on the opposite side of the field here, or kind of the land area, there's obviously a track that goes up beside field 32 and is the access point to some of the fields beyond that. So I'm going to have to leave a little strip of land available on the far side as well, so that we can kind of get access up to that track. As I just swing round here, directly in front of me at the edge of this, or the end of this kind of hedge line, there's also a gap then that goes through into the corner of the maize field that's kind of opposite us there, which also links into the grass field that is over the hedge on the right hand side as well. So I'm just going to back up here, make sure I kind of get as square an edge as I can, and then we'll obviously follow the hedge line down, and then I'll probably have to stop about I don't know, 20 metres or so before I get to the end there. And then I'll go obviously 90 degrees off to the left hand side, and then the plan is as well is that I'll also leave a certain kind of amount of area at the sort of top hedge that backs onto field 33, because that's where I'll plan on sort of putting some buildings and some sheds to kind of start with, and start kind of building a bit of a farmyard there. But we're going to end up being sort of fairly long just along that hedge line really. But that's going to be a little way off. I think it's going to be a little while before I can kind of afford to buy sort of any sheds or anything like that at all, but we'll see how we get on. Not sure how much money we'll kind of earn over the next sort of few days, but I'm probably going to take on a few extra contracts and things like that as well, just to help build our bank balance. But my plan is that I'll try and get as sort of much of the main parts of the equipment that I need over the next day or so. So certainly as a weeder, like I mentioned beforehand, we've got to get the seeder today. I need to get a little simple pallet fork for the 3-point hitch that I can either put on the front or the back. Obviously going to have to buy some seed as well, and then of course we've got to pay for our container house that I plan on putting in a little bit later this afternoon. So I'm going to leave this gap just up at the top here, between sort of where the tractor is and then the hedge line that's over on the right hand side. So that should give me hopefully enough space in the future to be able to put some farm buildings and the like. And then some of these bushes that we won't kind of catch with the plough and sort of end up ploughing under, I might just need to do a little bit of landscaping just to get rid of those, just to tidy things up a little bit. And then hopefully that will kind of sort out this space and get our first field in place. And then we can take things from there, hopefully. Okay, so that's almost the field perimeter sorted. I just need to sort of leave a little cutout on this corner here, just so there's good access in from the track. And then when we get our container house, hopefully later this afternoon, I'm going to put it where the mast and trailer is, just under that tree in the corner. Obviously the container's made of metal, so during the summer I would imagine it gets pretty hot, so sticking it under the tree in a bit of shade will probably be pretty good. Although I do think it comes with a bit of air conditioning, I'm not sure. So I'm going to crack on with this, get this field done. Once I've finished doing the ploughing, I'm then going to go over it with the cultivator, and I think when I've got the cultivator on, I will then nip over to field 33 and get that cultivating contract done there. Well, there we go. Pretty pleased with that. My first field produced or created and ploughed and cultivated, so pretty pleased with that. Soil looks good, so very happy with that. And I think we are about 2 3/4 acre size in terms of the actual field itself. Right, I need to go off and cultivate that field next door. Right, we're getting on okay with this field. I've done all of the headland work now, just starting on the land work. So we're cultivating in this crop of oilseed radish, which is a cover crop, and hopefully that will put some goodness back into the soil. Kind of acts like an organic fertiliser, really. So that's pretty good for whatever the crop will be, which comes next. Now, I will be looking at doing some precision farming in the future. It's not something that I've got the money to do at the moment. We obviously need to take some soil samples, but I might kind of wait until we've got a couple of fields before I start doing that. But I did have a look at a soil map for the area the other day, and it looks like field 29 and 33 that we're in at the moment is sandy loam, and then fields 30 and 32, which we're kind of a bit further over, are loam. So I'm kind of guessing that our field that sits in the middle of field 29 and 33 is probably sandy loam as well, but not 100% sure. There might be a little bit of loam that runs down kind of one side, but we'll have to wait and see. And it looks like the loam has a slightly better yield potential to it, but again, I think until we take the soil samples and see what we've got, we won't really know. But that's a bit of a plan for the future, and we'll have to see how we get on. Now, I think as soon as I've done this field, I'm not going to worry about doing that ploughing contract just yet, because I'm quite keen to get my own field sown with a crop. Not 100% sure what I'm going to put in at the moment, but I think I need to look at something that's going to yield fairly highly. But also it's got a fairly good price down at or at some of the local selling points. So I'll have a little look at that a little bit later and see what might be the best option for me. Right, I'm going to get this field finished cultivating, and then we'll drop the cultivator off and then probably nip up the shop and go from there. Right, that's us all done. So that didn't take too long. Where are we? 12:40. So we're kind of doing okay. Right, I'm just going to go and drop this off next to the trailer, and then I will see you all at the shop. Right, I'm up at the shop. Now, first things first, I'm just going to get this serviced, because it was kind of about 2/3 of the way down its kind of maintenance line, so I'm just going to do that very quickly, get it repaired, make sure everything is okay. So we're kind of as good as new. So that's that done. I'm just going to go and park up, and then we'll pop into the shop and see what we can find. Well, I was up here this morning. I let them know that I was looking for a very cheap cedar, and I think they might have found just the right thing for me. There's this fairly simple lizard cedar that just goes on the rear 3-point hitch, driven by the PTO. It's got a 400 litre tank capacity, but it scatters the seed to 6 metres, which is pretty good. So I think I'm going to buy this because it's nice and cheap. And then I also just need to pick up a simple pallet fork that can either go on the front 3-point link or on the rear, just so I can kind of carry a bag of seeds down and move a few things around. So I'm going to get this as well. And then I also just need to buy myself a bag of seed. Right, I picked these up. We're almost back at the field now. So I've got the sort of seed spreader on the back, and I've got the pallet forks and the pallet of seed on the front. So I'm just going to pull in here to into the field and go and drop the pallet fork and the bag of seed off up by the hedge. Now we started the day off with a little over £23,000. After we bought the equipment and had that repaired and serviced this morning, we had a little over 18,500. Now I completed that contract just over the hedge here in field 30 33, and we collected on that, which was just over 2,000. And now that we've purchased these items, they cost us just over £4,500. We've got 16,137 left. So not too bad. Still got a bit of money, but there is one item that I want to definitely buy. That's going to cost a little bit of money. I think even second hand, it's going to be about £11,000 to £12,000. So that's kind of going to be quite an important purchase for me, really. But we'll cover that off in the next episode. So in the meantime, I'm just going to fill up with seed, and we'll start doing this now with a 6 metre spread. I'm hoping that it won't take us too long to do this, but we'll have to see. Now I have been having a quick look at the crops, and soybeans seem to be a fairly good option. I think they seem to be fetching a fairly reasonable price, so hopefully they will still be fairly kind of decent price by the time I get around to selling them, but that looked quite a good option, and they normally yield fairly well. Right, we've got our soybeans selected, so we're going to get on with this. I'm not quite sure how far our 400 litres of seed will get us, but we'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. Now, the one thing I have noticed is that there doesn't seem to be any kind of speed restriction or anything with this kind of seed spreader, so I've been able to zip along here fairly quickly, but I think we might need to control the speed a little bit, because if not, I'll end up missing bits. So I suspect this probably won't take us too long to do. I'm going to do the headland first, and then we'll do the land work after that. Now, with our money that we've got left, like I said, I've kind of got one important purchase that I need to make that's going to cost me quite a bit. We've got the container house to pay for, which is going to be about £2,500, and then I also need to get a weeder of some description, and I've seen one in the shop which I think is going to cost around about £1,500, something like that. Now that all fairly conveniently adds up to about £16,000, but we do still have our contract on field 32, our ploughing contract to do. I think that was going to earn us about £6,000, so we'll still have a bit of money left over once we've got most of our equipment. And then I guess the next kind of thing that we'll have to think about is probably a harvester of some description. Now, I very much doubt I'm going to be able to purchase anything, not at the moment, so we'll have to look at leasing that, and hopefully I might be able to kind of tie that in with doing a couple of harvest contracts at the time, but until we get there I won't really know. Right, well, I'm going to get on with this, and once I've finished here I will be able to go over and do that ploughing contract, and I'm hoping that I might be able to get that done this afternoon. Right, well, I've done the headland now. We're just starting the land work, and I've settled down to a 10 mile an hour speed. I didn't want to spread the seed too thinly because that might affect our yield, but we seem to be getting on okay, and don't think it will take us too long to be able to get this done. Right, well, I think that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up and a like. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, then please feel free to do so. So join us on the next episode, where we will look at how we can fertilise this field and hopefully be able to get us a good crop growing. So take care, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, and I will catch you on the farm next time. Bye for now.